So this just happened a few minutes ago, and it was a long time in the waiting. Many fans were wondering where Nike has been with any Caitlin Clark merchandise whatsoever. And now for the moment many people have been waiting for. Caitlin Clark has dropped her signature logo for her product line.
And here's what you got, folks. The CC, as it unveiled and Nike showed us, it showed us that they're prepared to pursue the $1 billion revenue that Caitlin Clark is going to bring to Nike.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Clark Update. Today, we are breaking down the extraordinary frenzy surrounding Caitlin Clark's newly released Nike logo shirt. A launch that has reportedly triggered overwhelming demand, astonishing sales claims, and non-stop discussion across the sports world. Did one simple piece of apparel truly generate the unbelievable numbers now circulating online? And what made people describe this release as one of the most explosive merchandise moments Nike has ever experienced? There is a lot to unpack, so let's jump straight into the story.
Here's Nike. The shirt is available, but it's not available just yet.
Nike's website reportedly went down, and Caitlin Clark's enormous popularity was immediately blamed for the disruption. If the reports are accurate, this release may be remembered as the night Nike's digital infrastructure could not keep pace with the drawing power of one athlete. The moment the navy and yellow logo shirt became available at midnight, the situation descended into chaos. Fans rushed the site simultaneously, pages stopped loading, and buyers found themselves fighting simply to reach checkout. Before we continue, take a second to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing. More than 90% of the people watching still have not subscribed, even though doing so is completely free and takes only a moment. Your support helps us continue producing updates like this. Have you subscribed yet? Excellent, and thank you. Now let's return to what happened during the launch.
You're live on WNIK, and as usual, we're talking about Caitlin Clark.
Within minutes, resellers were allegedly listing the shirts for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The website experienced widespread failures, automated purchasing bots flooded the system, and the volume of attempted transactions reportedly made major Jordan releases look modest by comparison. What began as an ordinary $40 t-shirt quickly became one of the hottest items in sports merchandise. Nike executives were even rumored to be describing the release internally as the most intense product launch they had ever witnessed. Whether every claim proves accurate or not, the scale of the reaction turned a basic logo shirt into a cultural event almost instantly.
Imagine it's going to get sold out lickety-split. Caitlin Clark was first signed to Nike in April of 2024, so it took about a year and a half or so.
Millions of supporters were supposedly waiting on Nike's website before the scheduled release, refreshing their screens with payment information ready. The second Caitlin Clark's logo merchandise appeared at midnight, the digital rush began. Traffic surged so rapidly that Nike's servers were said to have struggled almost immediately. Within seconds, fans encountered delays, frozen pages, and failed attempts to complete their purchases. The launch had barely started, yet Nike's platform was already showing signs that it could not comfortably handle the enormous wave of interest.
Features interlocking Cs. Her mark is emblematic of ever-expanding range on the...
Not even Nike's multi-billion-dollar online system appeared capable of absorbing the sudden increase in visitors. The website reportedly buckled under the pressure as error notices began appearing across customers' screens. Some shoppers reached the middle of checkout only to be removed from the process and forced to begin again. Others claimed that items disappeared from their carts before payment could be completed. At the same time, the Nike mobile application was also said to be experiencing outages, leaving buyers with almost no reliable alternative. Reports suggested that the company's technology teams at headquarters were placed into emergency response mode, while engineers attempted to stabilize the platform, restore purchasing functions, and prevent the entire launch from collapsing.
Good. Got the pants, got the charms, necklace, zipper, everything.
Now let's examine some of the staggering figures being circulated. People described as Nike insiders claim the website attracted more than 10 million page views during the opening 60 seconds. That would represent more traffic in 1 minute than many online businesses see over an entire year. Nike was also rumored to have successfully processed over 500,000 purchases during the first hour before the system suffered its most serious breakdown. With adult shirts priced at approximately $40 and children's versions near $35, those reported orders would translate into roughly $20 million in revenue in only 60 minutes. And according to the story, that total reflected only the transactions that successfully made it through before the crash blocked countless additional customers.
Clark, that logo's okay. I would buy one of our shirts. I don't care about Indiana Fever or the WNBA that much, nor do I watch games, but it's a pretty cool logo. What do you think?
Consider those numbers from another perspective. When LeBron James launched his earliest Nike footwear, reports suggest it took nearly a week to reach comparable sales activity. Even highly anticipated Jordan retro releases often top out around 100,000 pairs in a single day. Caitlin Clark's logo shirts, however, were said to have surpassed the performance of major signature shoe launches during one evening. While ordinary supporters stared at error pages, professional resellers reportedly operated multiple accounts and deployed automated bots to secure inventory. Some were rumored to have purchased hundreds of units within only a few hours. That imbalance created immediate frustration, because loyal fans who simply wanted one shirt were being locked out while bulk buyers accumulated merchandise with the intention of reselling it at enormous markups. Almost immediately after the launch, listings for Clark's shirt reportedly appeared on StockX, eBay, Grailed, and other resale platforms for $200, $300, and even $500. Compared with the original retail price, certain listings represented markups approaching 1,200%. One online seller known as Sneaker King 23 was rumored to have earned $50,000 from Clark's shirts during a single night. The secondary market became completely unrestrained as buyers competed for an item that had cost only $40 hours earlier. StockX was also said to have recorded more first-day transactions for Caitlin Clark's logo shirt than for any previous non-footwear product in the platform's history. The activity allegedly surpassed merchandise connected to Travis Scott, Supreme releases, and other heavily promoted streetwear drops. According to those claims, nothing else came particularly close.
It's really unique, I think it's very creative for Caitlin Clark to come up with something like this. And I just enjoy all of it, it's like aura.
We love it! It's simple, yet it speaks a lot.
I love it so much.
The frenzy reportedly extended far beyond the United States. When the merchandise became available in Europe at 6 o'clock local time, the same surge was said to have overwhelmed Nike's international systems and caused another round of website failures. Demand then intensified across parts of Asia, where Caitlin Clark has reportedly built a substantial following. On Chinese resale websites, certain listings were described as reaching prices equivalent to more than $400 American, although some circulated currency conversions appeared inconsistent. In Tokyo, fans were reportedly so determined to purchase the merchandise that they remained outside Nike locations through the night. Across time zones and continents, the pattern appeared remarkably similar. Anticipation built for hours, the product became available, inventory disappeared, and resale prices climbed almost immediately.
This is interesting because when I looked at it, it had an international presence, the CC. And you look at it, are we talking about Coach? Are we talking about Louis Vuitton? Are we talking about Gucci? The CC is a global international brand that will don on top products all throughout the world.
Whether the launch occurred in Australia, Canada, Mexico, Europe, or Asia, the reported result remained nearly identical. Available stock vanished in moments, websites slowed or failed, and fans complained that they had no realistic opportunity to complete their purchases. Nike's global distribution operation was allegedly pushed into continuous shifts as teams worked around the clock to process the flood of orders. Warehouse employees, logistics coordinators, shipping partners, and customer service representatives were all said to be dealing with a volume the company had not expected. The release had stopped looking like a routine apparel launch and had begun resembling a worldwide emergency operation centered on a single athlete's logo shirt.
There's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together. And, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool. And it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment and to celebrate.
Nike reportedly believed it had prepared adequately, but the scale of demand exceeded even the company's aggressive forecasts. Sources claimed that approximately 2 million shirts were manufactured for the opening release, an inventory level supposedly larger than what Nike had prepared for many Jordan launches. Even that amount was said to have disappeared in fewer than 3 hours. Factory employees in Indonesia and Vietnam were reportedly called into additional shifts and assigned overtime as Nike rushed to manufacture replacements. The company was then rumored to have ordered 5 million more units into immediate production. FedEx and UPS vehicles were allegedly packed with Clark merchandise, while shipping companies were offered rates several times above normal to prioritize those deliveries. The entire supply chain appeared to be operating under extreme pressure. By 3 o'clock in the morning, Nike executives were reportedly holding emergency meetings at company headquarters, and the chief executive was said to have been awakened personally for a briefing. This had become far more than a standard merchandise release. Nobody inside the company seemed to have predicted the scale of the response. Marketing employees rushed to take advantage of the attention while social media teams worked non-stop to respond to angry customers who had been unable to buy anything. Customer service wait times were rumored to have reached 5 hours. Then came another surprising development. During pre-market trading the following morning, Nike's share price was reportedly up by approximately 8%. Investors interpreted the frenzy as evidence that the Clark partnership could create enormous commercial value, and some Wall Street analysts were said to have improved their outlook for Nike because of the response to one shirt. At the same time, X, formerly known as Twitter, erupted with discussion. The Caitlin Clark Nike hashtag was described as the most popular topic worldwide, not merely within American sports but across the entire platform.
That's our logo, man. Signature reveal, man. Shout out to C.
Videos showing fans desperately trying to purchase the shirt accumulated massive audiences on TikTok and other platforms. One clip of a young fan crying after missing the release was said to have attracted more than 50 million views. Influencers allegedly offered as much as $1,000 for a shirt they could use in videos, while Instagram filled with photographs posted by the relatively small number of customers who had secured one. Even celebrities reportedly complained online about being unable to purchase the item. Drake was rumored to have instructed members of his staff to acquire 100 shirts from resellers. While Nike faced the unusual challenge of managing overwhelming success, rival brands were reportedly alarmed. Adidas executives were said to have convened urgent discussions about how their company had failed to secure the athlete responsible for this level of excitement. Under Armour's stock was reported to have declined by 3% on the launch date. Reebok, despite its association with Angel Reese, was supposedly stunned that one Clark t-shirt had generated more attention than entire footwear campaigns. Puma leadership was rumored to be demanding explanations for why merchandise connected to Breanna Stewart had not produced comparable momentum. Across the sports business world, the same question surfaced repeatedly. How had Nike transformed such a simple shirt into a cultural earthquake? The obvious answer was Caitlin Clark herself. Celebrity reactions reinforced that conclusion. LeBron James reportedly posted an image wearing the shirt alongside a message about respecting greatness, and the post was said to have generated 5 million likes within an hour. Taylor Swift was later reported to have worn Caitlin Clark's logo shirt beneath a jacket at a Kansas City Chiefs game, sending online interest into another surge. Once Swift's audience collided with Clark's fanbase, searches for the merchandise were claimed to have increased by nearly 2,000% overnight. Michael Jordan was even rumored to have contacted Nike executives to congratulate them on the launch. And when a figure with Jordan's unmatched influence recognizes the commercial impact of another athlete's merchandise, it signals that something extraordinary may be happening. Some versions of the story mistakenly referred to Michael Jackson, but the reported sports connection clearly concerned Michael Jordan. The real pandemonium supposedly arrived on October 3rd, when Nike introduced the wider Caitlin Clark collection. In comparison, the September shirt release began to look like a preview. Nike reportedly created a lottery system to make purchasing more equitable, restricted customers to a single item, and blocked internet addresses associated with automated bots. The competition for inventory became a form of digital warfare. Then there were the financial claims. Analysts were said to have estimated that Clark's logo collection generated more than $500 million during its opening month. Shirts and hoodies alone allegedly accounted for close to $500 million, without including any money exchanged on resale platforms. For comparison, the entire Wnba reportedly produced around $200 million in revenue during 2024, meaning Clark's merchandise line would have generated more than twice that amount if the circulated estimates were accurate. Nike management was also claimed to have credited Clark's collection with helping produce a 15% increase in quarterly earnings. For a corporation valued near $150 billion, one athlete and one product range had supposedly created a measurable impact. Yet the importance of the release extended beyond revenue. It represented a possible cultural shift. Reports claimed that women's sports apparel outsold comparable men's merchandise for the first time, while a basic Clark logo shirt became more desirable than limited edition Jordan sneakers. Before Caitlin Clark's rise, an outcome like that would have seemed almost impossible. Fashion outlets including Vogue, GQ, and Hypebeast reportedly treated the launch like a luxury fashion event. The Clark emblem suddenly functioned as a status symbol. Stories emerged of arguments over shirts in high schools and unofficial markets developing on college campuses. Students were rumored to be trading shirts for gaming consoles, concert admission, and even vehicles. At that stage, the item was no longer viewed as ordinary merchandise. Supporters treated it as the symbol of a movement. Records were reportedly broken throughout Nike's international operations. In China, it was described as the company's fastest-selling product ever. In Europe, the shirts allegedly outsold World Cup football jerseys. Reports even claimed that officials connected to the Canadian Prime Minister's office contacted Nike to request additional supply because demand had become so intense. In Australia, the collapse of the website was supposedly covered as national news. Japan introduced a lottery to distribute inventory more fairly, while South Korean police were allegedly deployed to control crowds outside Nike stores. The launch had become a worldwide spectacle. Predictably, counterfeit merchandise appeared almost immediately. Fake Clark shirts reportedly reached online marketplaces, street vendors, and websites designed to imitate legitimate Nike stores within 1 week. Nike responded by introducing authentication measures, adding QR-coded labels, and expanding security efforts to locate counterfeit products across international markets. Federal authorities responsible for counterfeit investigations were said to have become involved, and customs officers reportedly intercepted shipments of fake Clark merchandise entering from overseas. Some estimates claim that 3 counterfeit shirts circulated for every authentic version sold. The illegal market surrounding Clark products was even described as a billion-dollar problem. Other WNBA stars were reportedly watching the phenomenon with disbelief. One shirt was claimed to have outsold Aja Wilson's entire footwear collection, while Sabrina Ionescu's merchandise appeared almost motionless by comparison. The most striking detail was that even Clark's competitors were purchasing and wearing the logo. Opposing players posted photographs in the shirt, suggesting the phenomenon had moved beyond rivalry. Wearing the emblem became a way of acknowledging a broader cultural moment. Clark herself was reportedly surprised by the response and posted a brief thank you message that allegedly collected 10 million likes. Wherever she appeared, supporters seemed to be wearing the symbol. And if a simple shirt could create this much disorder, imagine what may happen when her long-awaited signature shoe arrives in 2026. Nike insiders were said to be preparing for what they considered the launch of the century. Some analysts projected that a Clark signature sneaker could produce $1 billion during its first year, potentially making it the most successful debut of its kind. Michael Jordan needed years to reach certain commercial milestones that Clark was now rumored to be approaching with remarkable speed. Nike was reportedly expanding its server capacity, hiring additional security for retail locations, and coordinating with law enforcement agencies to prepare for crowds. This had grown beyond the boundaries of an ordinary product introduction. It was being treated as an international event. Caitlin Clark did not merely break merchandise records according to these reports. She demolished previous expectations. A plain shirt carrying a recognizable logo became one of the most desired pieces of sports apparel in recent memory. Nike may already be recovering the value of Clark's $28 million agreement at an astonishing pace. More importantly, her popularity offered evidence that women's sports merchandise could do more than compete with men's products. Under the right circumstances, it could outperform them. The release may ultimately be remembered as the moment Caitlin Clark changed the conversation surrounding sports apparel, online demand, and Nike's expectations for female athletes. And perhaps the most remarkable part is that her commercial story may only be beginning. Were you able to purchase a Clark logo shirt, or are you still searching for one? As we close today's video, one point remains undeniable. Caitlin Clark continues to create enormous excitement wherever her name appears, and her Nike merchandise has become one of the most widely discussed subjects in sports. Many dramatic sales statistics, resale stories, and insider claims continue circulating online, but several details have not been independently confirmed, and the true scale of the launch may take time to establish. What cannot reasonably be questioned is the intensity of fan interest and the expanding global influence of women's basketball. Whether you have followed the WNBA for years or only recently started paying attention, stories like this demonstrate how rapidly the sporting landscape is changing and why so many new viewers are joining the conversation. If Nike continues developing Clark's collection and upcoming releases attract similar demand, this could become one of the defining sports merchandise stories of the modern era. Now we want to hear from you. Do you believe Caitlin Clark's popularity will keep producing record-breaking numbers? Did you successfully order one of the shirts, or were they already unavailable by the time you reached checkout? Leave your opinion below, because we read as many comments as possible and your response may be included in a future episode. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want additional coverage of Caitlin Clark, Nike, the WNBA, and the biggest developments in women's basketball, press the like button, subscribe to the Clark Update, and activate notifications so you never miss a new upload. We will continue bringing you breaking stories, major trends, and detailed analysis created to keep you informed and entertained. Thank you for spending time with us, take care, and we will see you in the next video.